second time. Hopefully this works a little bit better. I tried it on a slightly different connection. This is the last chance I have. Otherwise, I don't know what I'm going to do with the live. We might not be able to do it till Tuesday if this doesn't work out. Yes, this is the current live AUB. The other one, it closed out because my internet connection is bad where I'm at. But I'm trying this a slightly different way, and we'll see what happens. I really, really hope that I'll be able to put this out because there's so much to talk about. There's so much that we need to get together and actually have a conversation about. And it's just a shame we had 200 and... I don't even know how many people we had in here. We had 200 and something people in here, and it unfortunately, it wasn't able to put it out. I tried this on a different signal this time, and hopefully this one works a little bit better. When I tested the speed test just now, it was almost twice as fast as the other one. So this will be, you know, my last chance while I'm out here. If this doesn't work, I've really got no options while I'm out here until Tuesday, which is a problem. Because we need to be talking in the moment here together. So for all of you that came back, I appreciate it. I apologize for all of the issues, but there's nothing I can really do about it. It's out of my hands. But let's go to this. So for XDC BITUNIX, they have the lowest spot and leverage trading fees. I can't do a live yet for my website. It's not fully integrated the way I want yet. I have a meeting on Wednesday to try to finish some things with the people that helped me build the actual website that I paid for. But XDC, as you see, is up another 4.85%. We talked about it as being a very good opportunity here. Yeah, we're here right now, so the trip was safe on the way here. But I'm gonna do it like this. This isn't YouTube, guys. YouTube wasn't blocking me. It's just my connection's really bad where I'm at. I'm in Albion, Michigan, and it's more like country out here next to a lake, so it's not as bad. But does it look a little bit better to everybody? Because the connection I decided to choose this time was faster than the other one, and it seemed like a better, more sturdy connection. I didn't even realize it was available. So hopefully it sounds and looks better than it was before. So it's a great connection this time. So it was choppier when I was on the other connection. Is that right? Like, was it choppier before? That's what I'm hoping for. That this is looking smoother. It's not as choppy, and we're no difference from you as at home. Oh, excellent. Excellent. Daniel Garcia, welcome in. Your first time in here since 2021. Wow, so you got to see us in the early days. The good news is after we sold out in 21, we were able to buy XRP back at 34 cents, and we still own it. So we stayed true. The only difference is now is that my passion is kind of shifting. Even though I still am very passionate about XRP, it's taken us to a level now to where we prophesized, you know, a few years ago. But now, well, yeah, the echoing is the room I'm in. I've got tight walls here. I'm inside this little... I'm not even joking. This room's like 4x5. It's where the internet connection is. So you're going to hear a little bit of echo, and there's nothing I can do about that. That's the one thing I'm not going to be able to control. But now with XDC, if you missed XRP, I'm telling you guys, if you missed XRP when it was at 34 cents with us in 2021, 2 days ago or 3 days ago, we talked about buying XDC at 7.7 cents. And I said, everybody who's trying to buy XRP at $3.40, $3.50, $3.60, you are making a terrible mistake. Not because you want to own XRP, but your timing is horrible. We had many years to buy it at 30 to 40 cents. We had a long time to buy it, well under 50, well under 60. So if you didn't buy it all there, now, you know, you're buying it now. It's honestly, even if it goes to $6, you're 1xing. Where XDC's at right now is in the exact same spot that XRP was at when it put in its cup and handle and it was going to break out. Now we're on that movement. We're putting in the handle right now. Once this breaks out, we have a short target of 27 cents and ultimately 32. It's never even... XDC's never hit past 20 cents in its history. So to me, this is an amazing buy. And there's two other ones that I introduced the group to because I ended up selling One was down like $3. The other two, it combined for like $70 or $80 in profit between the three. But before the dump earlier today, before I got on the road trip, I dumped ACH, I dumped FILE and Theta for a reason. I waited to reposition. I got into ACH a few percent cheaper, but then I wanted to expose my audience to what I really wanted. I prefer IOTA over Theta, so I bought, IOTA over Filecoin or Theta for that matter. So I bought 20,000 tokens, and that did come at a cost. I could not own IOTX and IOTA at the same time if I wanted 20,000 IOTA, and I decided I wanted 20,000 IOTA when it dropped at whatever the percentage was. I bought it in the group trade so you can look there. And then VeChain is the other one I wanted with the group. You know, it's great to have Theta and Filecoin, but I really think our trifecta here, XDC, VeChain, and Alchemy Pay, it's fire. I think it's 100% fire. And I think that it's the best decision we could have made. Even though I still think the other ones move, I think this is better. So I bought 20,000 IOTA with the group. I bought 100,000 plus, just over 100,000 Alchemy Pay. And then VeChain, we bought 100,000, I believe. So, but the point is with XDC, this is where XRP was at. See how we measured this going all the way back to 2020? Back in here. This is exactly what XRP from 2017 for XRP. But you can look, we had this little uptrend from here. Broke up, got rejected, came to support, resistance. Hit from support to resistance. Consolidated down. Now, is this where we don't have to go all the way back down? And now we've created the cup and handle finally. Because you can see, even on this wick down, we retested the uptrend. We retested the uptrend. Your home is New York. Where can I get XDC? I don't know. I thought on BITUNIX you could get it anywhere in the USA, but I do hear people in New York tend to have problems. So I don't know. I live in Michigan, and it works fine for me, but I don't live in New York. So that's a good question. Is there anybody from New York who can answer that question, or if it's available on some of the exchanges that we use? Because that's a great question. But I'm so blessed. I bought in the audience, we've been talking about it since XDC was at 7.7 cents when XRP made that big rally up to 360. And we talked about everybody's going to start buying into XRP when there's a much better deal with XDC. So I dropped a total of 262,000 tokens right now. So when I say I'm balls deep, I am balls deep into this son of a bitch. Sorry to ask if I already said, what is the cutoff to buy for XDC long term? For me, I was going to buy it every day until at 10 cents. And my buy today, I like to make around 10, 11 o'clock when the market goes cold in the USA. It's on the verge of not being able to happen if I'm going to do it by 10 cents. I said you could even go to 15 cents. But, you know, the lower it is, the better. Frankie Frost, they asked if they could buy XDC on BITUNIX in New York. And I want to say yes, because a lot of my fans are in New York that are here, and I believe you guys are using BITUNIX. So I believe you can. UK Phil, thank you so much for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. That means a lot to me. And Frankie Frost, thanks for being in Tom's Army for 3+ months with the XRP Meteor. I'm so glad we're at least able to come back here and try to make something of this. We didn't give up. I didn't give up on this, and I've been trying with this connection. So you can in New York. So BITUNIX, my friends in New York. BITUNIX. Oh, guys, it is so undervalued. I'm telling you, we're going to make more money. And I know it's crazy to say because we turned 3,400 into 34,000 right now in XRP. We're going to make more money in XDC virtually because we have more money to spend if you've been watching me since 21. And I told everybody, I would not be mad at you if you sold all of your XRP and put it into XDC when it was at 7.7, 8. I said that because I could see this looming move. We measured this out yesterday, and I said, this isn't the final target, guys. This is the next target, and we could just blow past it. We're so undervalued in XDC, so undervalued. And now we hit my target. From this little consolidation, we hit the target. And in the last, since we bought XDC back on, what was it, Wednesday? or Thursday, one of the two. It's gone from 7.7, we'll just say 7.8. Since we bought it back on Wednesday, it's up 25%. It's up like 20 grand into this. So you do the math. That's a nice couple day rally right there. You know, so do we need to do leverage? Absolutely not. Do you want to know how many leverage trades I have open? Zero. Because too many people, even if and it's happened to me too, but too many people I know from this community and just people in general get hammered on leverage. So it's like a 75 to 90% losing ratio of somebody who did. Joseph, it's funny because going back to 21 when I first started, March 24th of 2021, people watched because of my first video, but they still thought I was a nut job. And then when I started singing Sunny Days, they're like, you know, what's wrong with this guy? This guy's kind of a douchebag. And then they started to realize, and they're like, why would you sell XRP at $1.66? Are you out of your mind? We just hit $1.98. Obviously, we're back testing. Then they found out why I was saying that. And we went all the way down. I said, don't buy it at 52, even though that's where we're going next. And it went right to 52. Went right to 52. But I said I wasn't buying it until sub 40 because I had the pattern set up for years. So I knew where it was going. I started showing this chart more as it started progressing because literally half my audience left. Ooh, Sean bounced in at 500,000 XDC. Sean did very well with us here. Sean did very well on XRP. And I believe Sean's going to be I don't want to say it because I'm not jinxing him. But he could be one of our first XRP future millionaires if this continues the trend. Let's just put it that way. He's positioned well enough to where this could happen. Maybe the first through XRP in the community soon, but we're not going to jinx it. That's a big W, Foreman, folks. That's a nice reversal force and follow, man. Your wife laughed her ass off the first time she heard me say. Oh, man. You know, it's all fun and games now because now, you know, the song became popular and whatnot with my audience and everybody looks forward to it. But imagine the first time I sang that to an audience of like 300 people. It was an annoying. I just remember everybody was sad because XRP went from like 52 cents and it dropped down below our buying average of, I don't know what it was back then. It was 47 at the end roughly, but it went back down into like the high 30s, low 40s, and we kept buying. I'm like, listen, guys, it's fine. And I just sang the song. I didn't know what I was going to say. I just started singing. How do you just start that song from scratch? I don't know. And it grew, and it is what it is now. But anyhow, let me do the intro real quick. Good evening. 9:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Saturday, July 19th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. Now, we're not going to be here a whole hour in this exact live, and I deleted the other one because it was just too interrupted, so there's no point in you going back and watching it. Probably do another half hour, maybe half hour total on this live. We did like 20 minutes before, but obviously we're here. We're still doing what we need to do here and get situated. But Define, thanks for being a very trusted mod of me in Town Zone for over 3 months with the XRP meter. And Sean Crothers, my main man from Maine, thank you for being a very trusted mod as well. And having trust in what we do here to follow along. Not to mention, Sean made me some really good money last year with Turbo. And I wish I would have put more than just like 1,500, but it turned into, it was a nice haul. It was like 8 to 10 grand on just 15. It was probably more than that. It was unbelievable. So Sean's done his thing. Hey Tom, wait a minute. Kevin, he said he sold. I sold what? I don't know if you're talking about me. Said I sold what? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Somebody said Doge was due. Is Doge moving? Good. Julie has Doge. And this, yeah, see, Doge is another one that's getting ready to move. And when Doge moves, it moves hard. Eventually, this is going to break this formation. That's an all-time from 21 on this chart. You can see the cup and handle from 2021. Oh, man. And we're invested. Julie has 10,000 tokens. She had it. We sold it. And then I ended up buying it back for her when I bought XRP at 34 cents, I bought her Doge back at 5.2 cents. And then 6 or 7 months later, maybe a year later, they allowed me to send it to Robinhood because Robinhood allowed it. And my exchange allowed sending the same kind of route. And I sent it to Julie and she just keeps it for safekeeping. Colton, thank you so much for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Yes, I sold Filecoin. Okay, I was just making sure because I didn't see it. I sold Filecoin because I decided that I have more interest in IOTA personally. So it's either I buy 10,000 more IOTA with the group and have 20,000 total, or split it up between the two. And I just decided I'm not comfortable with just 10,000 IOTA when it dropped down to where it did earlier. So I decided to go with 20,000 IOTA, and I'm a very big fan of VeChain. And since I can't buy ZIL on the group trade, I figured, which is weird because ZIL is only available in the futures market, but it won't let me do it in the group trade. So I wanted to do VeChain at the same time. But look at Doge. If I didn't own Doge via Julie, I would have bought this. If we didn't own the 10,000 plus Doge, I would have bought this. But I don't see any reason to keep buying more and more and more of it. Ban protocol. Ooh, somebody said that before. But yeah, Doge is up 5.5, so I'll have to tell Julie that. I'll have to look into ban protocol a little bit deeper because I don't know a lot about it. IOTA though made me very happy earlier when we bought it. Because we talked about, it was so funny earlier in the Telegram, not funny, but we were talking and everybody's like, where's the proper buying? I'm like, if we double bottom here, this is the exact nut buy. And that's where we bought all of this. We bought everything when it looked like it was making this W here in the 30. And if this pans out from here, we sold out before this drop happened on our tokens. We bought it on the bottom of this second W. You know, I like Filecoin to death, but I love IOTA. And I'll tell you, when I was sitting there with IOTA, Theta, and everything else I had, I wasn't comfortable. So here's the deal. Instead of going with Filecoin or Theta, I'm going to be honest with you. I went with Data instead. And I went with Dent. So I went with Data and Dent over Theta and File, if you want me to be brutally honest. That's the honest to God truth of my personal. I went with Data and Dent over File and Theta. I went for something that's more volatile, that I think Data is severely undervalued as an IoT token, and Dent's severely I haven't talked about Dent since 2022, believe it or not, until, I believe Mina, she talked about it the other day, and when I pulled the chart up, it's just undeniable. It's in a diamond pattern. It's undeniable where we're at, and it's in a huge cup and handle, and I couldn't buy Dent except for on Uphold for years, so I never talked about it. And then a few months ago, I noticed it was on BITUNIX, and my jaw hit the floor. I couldn't believe it. And then I was waiting for it to finish its pattern consolidation. I didn't know where it was going to go. I thought it could come down here because we had something drawn out a few years ago, and it finally came back down here. And we turned this on, and I looked at this and measured it out. I'm like, oh my God, we're actually holding this. And this has been happening. So we hit a resistance back here all the way, think about it, all the way of 2020. We're at that price point where we broke out. We back tested this right now. We back tested this from 2020. We back tested the breakout back in. We've been in this same consolidation for almost 3.5 years. All the way since March of 22, we've been in the same consolidation. And I'm telling you, I'm looking for the giants, the ones that can outperform, and they're so severely undervalued that if they do end up rallying, they're going to knock your socks off. Like, I'm not talking about a 7, 8, 9x. I'm talking about like a 60, 70x if they do it right. And these are so undervalued that eventually, if this happened to get some footing and it actually comes, that's a huge cup and handle. So eventually we know this is going to come up here for a 970. I want to see this play out so bad. I wanted the group to have exposure to certain ones, and for some reason, not so many like my style, but those particular ones. So I said, you know what? I'm going to force them into it if they want to group trade with me. So that's why I went so heavy into IOTA, which I would have anyhow. Why I bought VeChain and why I bought not XDC, but Alchemy Pay. That's why I did that with the group. XDC I can't buy in the group. Otherwise, you'd have it at 7.7 cents with me. I'm not willing to sell. I told you guys, I'm not selling that unless if this pattern completely falls upside down and forces me. Because I know XDC is going to make me more than XRP. And XRP's made me $31,000 so far. Well, more than that, but I'm talking about on these 10,000 tokens. You already know we cashed out over 30. So, on the other bag, that was just a side bag, which is supposed to be used for other things. And it paid out very well. But XDC, the bottom line is, and I know I keep rambling. I got thrown off a little bit because I had to restart this and yada, yada, yada. But see the pattern set up. See how it's set up. We got everything in the making. We're in a cup and handle right now. We're in the handle formation, breaking back up. This looks eerily familiar to, let's see the right chart that would emphasize. Eerily familiar to XRP before, except XRP's was longer. Before XRP had its big breakout. It looks very similar to me. Except now XRP's broke out. But imagine XRP before this broke out. You know, it hasn't broke out yet for XDC. It's still been in the same painful consolidation for a very long time. Now it's building. We've already rounded. It's building. We got a nice big W reversal in the weekly. That's the other thing I've been doing. Forget about these in the 30-minute and hourly and 3 hour. Look at these in the weekly. XDC massive W reversal. XRM had that massive W. It's already broken up a considerable amount more than XDC. It looks, well, maybe not considerable, but XDC needs to pull up a little bit more here still, about 30%. And then you start looking at the other ones, like why, Tom, are you so infatuated with IOTA at this exact moment? When it has that pullback and in the weekly, it pulls back to back test a weekly breakout. Very interested. When we are this undervalued, if we just hold on to IOTA, those 20,000 tokens, there is no doubt in my mind, zero. There's no doubt in my mind that we're going to go back up there. But guys, this chart, like there's other charts you can see IOTA go farther. I like this chart because it's got it at $2.65 and not $6 or whatever some of those other ones had that wick. So I choose this one. We can absolutely get up there. There's no doubt in my mind this is going to happen at some point. And now instead of having 10,000 tokens like with XRP, we have 20. And I have no doubt XDC is going to get up over $1 at some point. It's going to take time. But I know first we got to get to 10. But remember, from 10 to 20, 20 to 40, 40, it's going to happen. And it's just like I used to say with XRP. We bought it at 34. No one's going to really care until it gets up to $1.50, $2. But once it breaks past a certain level, people are going to start rushing in. But we're already going to be sitting there. So now we take the focus. We're on XRP's focus, but we've already done the hard part. Now the easy part, we just sit. We sat through all the nonsense, all the negativity, everybody calling us a bunch of dumbasses, everybody saying this can't possibly go up as much, and everybody telling us it doesn't move. Guys, if it doesn't move, I want to own more that don't move. You know, in a year and a half, we've gone from 3,400 to 34,000. If that's not moving, I don't know what is. Oh, that's a big story. You're right. Hong Kong, the Asian countries really, really like XDC. There are 3/4 to the core, and there's so many different things. There's so many different partnerships. And the only difference between XDC and XRP is you don't hear about it. XDC's for the smaller guy. It's more user-friendly for the small business. So it's got its own niche. And I actually chose to go very deep into XDC. And you know what I did? I didn't buy into XLM this time. I never thought I would say that. But I took all the extra capital, and instead of splitting it between XLM and XDC, I went for XDC. And I'm just going to continue to buy it. I'm going to continue to buy more unless it goes up past a certain range. I did say 10 cents I would like to keep buying, but, you know, I don't know. I think I'm okay right now, though, with 262,000 tokens or whatever it is, 265,000. I think I'm okay. So I think I bought hardcore enough. And to do it around 7.7, 7.8 cents. And then to buy it again when we had the drop yesterday at 8.3 or whatever it was. Whew. You guys are reading properly. I'm not so high on this because it's a pile of shit. You guys are seeing exactly what I feel is going to happen. And it's the same reason why I backed XRP so much. I knew at a certain point that buying it at 30 cents or 34 cents, I knew we were going to 10x it. The question was how much farther would it go? And it's showing us this cycle. We should at least get up to 549 roughly. Maybe 679 if we get lucky. What's XDC saying? Are we looking good? It's looking okay right now. It's looking okay. We did fill out this first target. Weekly is just breaking out. That's a beautiful weekly engulfing candle. And remember, tomorrow it closes. So there's only 22 hours and 21 minutes. Oh, 222. So yeah, I'd say the angels are telling us. Now the next step is to break out of whatever this, it's going to try to build, like, it's building a handle of sorts. So once it gets out of that, we need to get past this resistance. It immediately opens up a short target of 27, which would put us into all-time highs easy. But look, when we came up here, it's the same thing XRP did. Remember when we created the cup with XRP and then it dropped down immediately and everybody's like, oh, look at this pile of crap. It dropped 50, 60%. And I kept saying, yeah, it came up to create the cup. Remember when we had the court date and XRP was ruled not a security and it came all the way back up and it had a huge run up and then it immediately dumped back down. And I kept telling everybody, listen, we built a cup. Now we need to put the handle in before we can have this big breakout of this descending wedge. And then we had a cup and handle target to $1.34 or whatever, remember? And I said my bull market officially kicks in once we get over $1.34 and hold it. And once we did that, I said we're going to all-time highs. We already had it measured out. It was not there, and we still haven't measured out. It hasn't reached the entire target. Same thing with XDC. It's the exact same feeling. Once XDC gets out of the cup, everybody, it makes the cup and they freak out because it drops. It only had that big drop because it had to build the handle, just like XRP only had the big drop to build the handle. And this dropped 72%. That's a big drop. But now once you build the handle and you break out, once you get on top of 14.4 roughly, yes, all-time highs is a little farther, but you are signaling a move of about 89%, and it's confirmed when you get over and hold all-time highs. That's where we're sitting right now. And at 7.7, 7.9, whatever, maybe that's what the average ended up going up to after the small last purchase of like 20,000 tokens at like 8.3 or 30,000 or whatever. Not small, but in comparison to the total bag, it is. We'll do it from 789. But from here, I mean, you're talking about a 259% move, and that's not even to get the bigger breakout. Once you break out of this, then you start to go into unknown territory. This is what's starting to happen with XRP. We broke out of a cup and handle, pushed up into the all-time high range. Now, XDC, the cup and handle is built on all-time highs. So this could get very interesting very, very quickly. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I went so deep into XDC that I had to make choices. I did not buy H-bar because of this. And I've always had H-bar. But I sold it after the run-up. And I did not buy it back this time because I decided to go so deep into XDC. And then I also wanted, you know, that was the other discussion I had with myself. It was you can have 10,000 IOTA or 10,000 H-bar. You know, but you can't have 20,000 of either if you're going to do that. And I said, I want 20,000 of IOTA. And it kind of pains me a little bit not to have H-bar right now, but because of what I'm thinking, I have to play it this way. It's just because of what I'm thinking with Dent and data and the way I want to play the ACH V, and I'm getting rid of Zell on this page. The ACH V chain and IOTA, that pairing. So I'm going to add IOTA to this. Because this page in particular is supposed to be, this is like the IoT section. But it's something deeper right now. If you've been watching this for many, many years, you know what I'm talking about. There is something deep. This is what we used to watch with IOTA, if you're wondering. A long time ago, we had this setup like this. And then we redid it here not too long ago on the end. And if you look at it from this perspective, I mean, when it comes back up to hit this eventually, it's going to. I think it's going to. And it's like when you start looking at this from every single angle, IOTA's got a long, it's got so far to go. I would have been so mad at myself if I didn't do what I did. And I had one chance to do it and I took advantage of it. And maybe it goes down from here, but the chance in this little setup was right now. Because I was riding it, swing trading it, and then I started, like I told the group, why am I swing trading some of this? No. It's got to be the XRP philosophy now with some of these. It's been too long. And if we are pushing into an alt season, because based on what XRP is doing and based on what Ethereum's doing, it is theoretically setting up a confirmation for alt season. Obviously, we need to get the final ruling with Bitcoin dominance doing what it needs to do here and maintaining. See, it's so hard in the weekly. I kind of think like you would have to do this in the weekly. Yeah. Something like that in the weekly, probably. It's tough though. And that just gives you the long-standing trajectory. But you can see this has been baseline support on IOTA. Just think about it for a second. This has been the baseline support before parabolic spikes in IOTA's history, going back to 2017. Every single time it gets into this consolidation, we have a big run-up. The first time we had an unprecedented move in its history, and we just rallied 2,000%. The next time we consolidated like this, we broke out for, just a measly 1,100%. Now we've had a bigger consolidation. Remember XRP's W reversal? This is the best example that I can show you. Remember when we projected XRP for many, many years in its pattern? That eventually, and I still have it drawn out, I never deleted it, that eventually it was building a W reversal, and it's the biggest W I've ever seen. Well, IOTA's is bigger. Does anybody remember this drawing for XRP that I made when it was at, I don't know, 40 cents, 30 cents, 35 cents? I can't quite remember where it was at when I made it. But we forward projected, and a lot of people laughed, and they're like, okay, well, that's great, but that's never going to happen. Well, it happened exactly like I drew it out. And this is what I just drew for you on XDC, right? The W. But when I drew it on XRP, when I had the W, it was on a different chart. This is the one that I drew for the cup and handle. But the W is on this one, on the XRP market cap. This is what I drew out all the way back then. And it followed the actual pattern. I drew the W, and I said, if this happens, this is going to be the biggest W I've ever seen. And then this is how we propel ourselves to $5.49, because that would be the minimum target. And I think it left a lot of people laughing. When I look at that chart, and now we go back to IOTA, anything familiar starting to, oh shit. Where is IOTA? My TA is a cartoon bear, guys. Yes. Yes. I like how BITUNIX has it IoT. It always throws me off every time I see it, IoT. But I mean, look at this pattern. Doesn't this resonate with anybody? Like, this is what XRP was when we projected the big W and said, oh my God, this is going to be the biggest. This would be bigger. To be honest with you, I can't do Jasmy. Because of its affiliate. I know it's supposed to be the Bitcoin of that side of the world, but the bottom line is I've got so many options that I think are better that I can't waste money on Jasmy. No offense. I don't really know what it's going to do. XRP's already melted faces. Anytime you 10x, it's melting faces. But yeah, I don't disagree with you. But does this make sense to anybody? Like, look at these patterns. Why do I want 20,000 IOTA? Because I'm forward thinking this pattern at $5, $6. That's why. And having IOTA. So I was late. Is IOTA going to be bigger than XDC? It's debatable. They're two different areas. IOTA's firm with the mainframe token of the IoT. What does it have? 8 or 9 billion total tokens, and its supply. Let's see. IOTA total supply. The total supply of IOTA token is 4.6 billion. I guess I should have said max supply just to make sure. No fix between token inflation and burning. Well, 4.2 billion. At least we know that's what's in circulation. And then XDC has slightly more, but they're two completely different things. XDC has not the price. Whoops, not the price. I want total supply. 15.7 billion right now. So there's 15.7 billion in circulation of XDC versus 4.2 billion of IOTA. But guys, I got to get going here though. I've been on for an hour. I know it's only 36 minutes on this live, but I had so many issues on the other one. But I want to go, because some people, I want to go hang out with Julie and stuff since, it's getting later. And I'll keep everybody updated. We're doing okay right now. Did what? Yeah, but I don't think it's ready yet. Jesse, that is so tough between IOTA and XDC. I personally put more into XDC, but it's tough. I think because of the price, I'm more infatuated at 7. Well, it's not 7.7, it's 9 point whatever now. But price-wise, I was more infatuated to put more into XDC, but that's I don't know which one's going to outperform who. That's a tough question between IOTA and XDC. XDC probably can outperform. That's tough. I don't know. It's a good question to ask. Good question to ask. But yeah, I gotta go. Julie was asking me something. I'm gonna go. I'll see you guys later. Make sure if you want to join the Telegram, you join Tom's Army. And when you join Tom's Army, you'll see it. Just go to the post, and there will be a membership post, and it's for Tom's Army. And if you get Tom's Army, we have group trades. I'm up like, I don't know, $3,700, $3,800 since I started a week and a half ago. But if you do, you'll get the Telegram. We had to put this into place because we had so many spammers who were trying to be me. We have 433 members now. So I finally had to say, if you want to join Tom's Army, or if you want to get in the Telegram, you have to join Tom's Army. And then if you don't renew, you don't renew. But at least it's like a paywall so that the scammers don't come in, because a lot of people are impersonating me. I'm sure you can see it. I'm sure you've probably been contacted by one of these scumbags. And then when you come in here, you got the general chat, you got content links that I put out so that even if YouTube doesn't tell you, group swing trading, charts by all members. We got the Reader's Digest that's coming. Let's see, step-by-step copy trading instructional. We got the red flag zone. That's our security center we had to create. Make sure you go to the Declaration of Prosperity. Make sure you read through it and all this other stuff. We got a great community there where I'm trying to protect you by making people who are, and even if you only do it the first month, you come in and you never support my channel again, that's fine. But we got to make sure we keep the people out that are trying to scam people out of their actual tokens, because it's happened to way too many people and it's very uncomfortable. And the website, XRPFutureMillionaire.com. I've been working on it for some time. I have my last meeting on Wednesday to get all the live components and things worked out. And then it's all mine on my own. I paid someone to do it. I paid for dedicated servers, live API, and it's lightning quick. It starts off with the XRP market cap because that's how I wanted it. Updates every second on the second. So it's 100% up to date. You can go to whatever you want. And since we're talking about XDC a lot today and IOTA, well, we've done XDC in this a lot. Let's go to IOTA. So we go to IOTA, and the volume's already in here. The volume's already in here, so you don't have to do anything. I wanted the volume here for you guys, regardless of if you want it or not, because you have to see volume. I get this argument from some people all the time. Tom, you don't need volume. The hell you don't. So I'm forcing you to have volume. If you don't want to have volume, you can look at it on another chart. So you have the volume. And then my suggestion is on the website, go MACD. That's the moving average convergence divergence. You can see the flow. Look at the positive flow, folks. That's a signal. See that dark green? See the dark green? We're signaling right now in the monthly for IOTA. I'm telling you guys, there's moments in history where you got to go for it. And you have to realize what's what and what token's worth it. And then if you want to go on top of that, do the relative strength index, RSI. Don't do anything tricky. Just do the relative strength index. You don't need anything fancy. As you can see, we're bouncing off on the relative strength index. The RSI in the monthly is bouncing off of the trend line. This is extremely bullish. The price action line in the RSI is extremely bullish right now. Big inverse head and shoulders. The right shoulder turned into a W Gartley, and it's about to break out. It is breaking out. So make sure you join my website. It's free. I appreciate it if you go there. I think it's a great website. It's 24/7 XRP, plus everything else you can imagine. There's so much stuff in here. Goes to my channel. It goes to everything that I do. Just give it a chance. Be blessed, everybody. And I'm glad we figured this internet out. Now we can do this all week. All week.